I worked the night shift as a 911 dispatcher in Jefferson County, Colorado, from 2016 to 2019. If you've ever imagined the job as constant chaos, screaming callers, car chases, gunshots, you're half right. But most nights were quiet. Too quiet. Especially between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Dispatchers call that window the dead hours. That's when this happened. It was February 17, 2018, around 2:41 a.m. Snow had been falling all evening. The kind that muffles sound. Makes the world feel sealed off. I remember checking the clock because I was counting minutes until my break. Then my headset beeped. Incoming 911 call. Nothing unusual, except the screen didn't populate. No number. No location. No ANI/ALI data. That never happens. Before I could flag it, the line opened. And I heard breathing. Slow. Wet. Like someone had been running, or crying. 911, what's your emergency? I said. There was a pause. Then a woman whispered. I think he's back. Her voice was shaky, hoarse, like she'd been screaming earlier. Ma'am, I need your location. Another pause. I'm not supposed to say it out loud. My stomach tightened. That's okay, I said calmly. Just tell me what's happening. I heard a faint creak in the background. Like a floorboard. She whispered again. He stands in the hallway when it snows. I muted my mic and glanced at my supervisor. Untraceable call. I mouthed. She frowned. I unmuted. Who is he, ma'am? Her breathing sped up. The man with the wet boots. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Crunching slightly, like snow melting off shoes onto hardwood. She began whispering faster. He doesn't knock anymore. He knows the door remembers him. Ma'am, I said, my heart pounding. Are you in danger right now? She didn't answer. Instead, she whispered. He's standing where my son used to sleep. I typed notes furiously, trying to force the system to pull a location. Nothing. Ma'am, do you have children in the house right now? A sob escaped her. Not since the accident. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then, a man's voice. Not on the phone. In the background. Low. Close. You weren't supposed to call them. She screamed. The line cut dead. We immediately dispatched units anyway. Protocol be damned. I gave them everything I had. Female caller. Possible home invasion. Snowstorm. Unknown location. Police searched for 3 hours. Nothing. No break-ins. No missing persons. No matching calls. When my supervisor checked the logs, her face went pale. There's no record of that call, she said. I laughed nervously. That's not possible. She turned the screen toward me. No timestamp. No audio. No trace. But I remembered it. Every word. That morning, when I got home, I googled something I couldn't get out of my head. Man with wet boots, hallway, snow house, Colorado. One result came up. A local news article from 2009. Mother and child found dead in abandoned home after snowstorm. The address was outside city limits. An old rental property scheduled for demolition. The woman's name was Laura Whitmore. Her son, Evan, was 6. Cause of death, exposure. But what caught my eye was one line buried deep in the article. Neighbors reported seeing muddy footprints in the home, though no suspect was ever identified. I scrolled further. Another line. Laura Whitmore reportedly told a friend weeks earlier that she believed a man with wet boots was standing in her hallway at night. My blood went cold. 3 nights later, I came back from my shift. My supervisor pulled me aside. We found something, she said. She plugged in her headset and played an audio file. Static. Then my voice. 911, what's your emergency? Then her voice. Every word. Every whisper. Then the man in the background. Then the scream. I ripped the headset off. How is that possible? I whispered. She swallowed. The file metadata says it was recorded in 2009. Part 7, the last detail no one could explain. The file ended with something I hadn't noticed the first time. After the woman screamed. After the line supposedly went dead. There were 4 more seconds of audio. Footsteps. Then a man speaking directly into the phone. Clear as day. She always calls when it snows. I resigned 2 weeks later. I couldn't sleep. Every time it snowed, I dreamed of hallways and wet footprints. Last winter, I received an anonymous email. No subject line. Just a single sentence. You answered too late. Attached was a photo. A narrow hallway. Child's bedroom door. Wet boot prints leading inside. The metadata showed the photo was taken at my current address. It snowed that night. I didn't sleep. And I never answer unknown calls anymore. The police department denies any record of this incident. But the audio file still exists. And sometimes, late at night, dispatchers say they hear a call come in that doesn't populate. Breathing. Waiting. In 2016, Ethan Walker, age 29, worked as a night dispatcher for a private roadside assistance company in Ohio. It wasn't police. It wasn't 911. They handled breakdowns, towing, and emergency fuel deliveries, mostly for insurance companies. The night shift paid more because almost nobody wanted it. Most calls were boring. Flat tires. Dead batteries. Drunk college kids stranded at gas stations. But there was one rule Ethan was warned about during training. If a call comes in from Route 44 between 1 o'clock and 3 a.m., escalate it immediately. No explanation. Just that. Route 44 cuts through eastern Ohio, stretching for miles of dense forest. Abandoned farmhouses. Old mining land. At night, there are no streetlights. No cell towers for long stretches. Just trees and silence. Locals avoided it after dark. Truckers called it the Blackout Road. Officially, there were no records of anything unusual. Unofficially? Plenty. On October 17, 2016, at 1:12 a.m., Ethan's console lit up. Incoming call. Unknown number. Location ping, Route 44, mile marker 71. Ethan froze. That was inside the time window. He answered anyway. Roadside assistance, this is Ethan. Silence. Then breathing. Slow. Wet. Too close to the microphone. Hello? Ethan said. A woman finally spoke. Her voice was calm, but strained, like she was trying not to panic. My car won't start. Ethan followed protocol. Ma'am, are you safe right now? Pause. I don't think so. Ethan checked the system. No vehicle data. No insurance match. No cell carrier ID. That was impossible. Can you tell me what's around you? He asked. Another pause. Then the woman said something that made his stomach tighten. There's a man standing behind my car. Ethan sat up straight. Is he threatening you? Her breathing changed. He hasn't moved. Can you see his face? Long silence. Then, no. He's facing the trees. Ethan muted his mic and flagged his supervisor. No response. He unmuted. Ma'am, I'm sending help right now. Stay in your vehicle. Her voice dropped to a whisper. He's closer now. Ethan pulled up the live traffic camera for that stretch of Route 44. The screen loaded. Empty road. No car. No person. Nothing. Ma'am, Ethan said carefully. What color is your car? She answered immediately. Blue. What model? I don't remember buying it. That made no sense. Ethan's heart was pounding now. Then the woman said something that chilled him completely. He's tapping on the trunk. Ethan heard it. Tap. 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 Clear as day through the phone. He stood up from his chair. "Ma'am, unlock your doors and drive away if you can." She laughed softly. It wasn't relief. It was resignation. "I already tried." The tapping stopped. Then, "He's at my window," Ethan shouted. "Ma'am, call 911 right now." Her voice cracked. "I did." Pause. "They told me. They can't find Route 44. The call cut off at 1:27 a.m. Ethan immediately contacted state police. They dispatched a unit anyway. At 2:11 a.m., the trooper radioed back. No car. No woman. No footprints. No evidence of any breakdown. Just one thing. Deep scratches in the dirt behind where a vehicle should have been. Like something heavy had been dragged into the woods. Ethan didn't sleep that day. The next night he considered calling in sick. At 1:09 a.m., the phone rang again. Unknown number. Route 44. Mile marker 71. Ethan didn't answer. It rang again. And again. On the fourth ring, the system auto-answered. The woman's voice came through. But it wasn't panic this time. It sounded empty. "You said help was coming." Ethan whispered. "Who are you?" She replied. "I'm still here." Ethan later learned something his company never told him. Between 1993 and 2015, at least 9 women were reported missing after their vehicles broke down near Route 44. All cases unsolved. All calls made from phones that were later found destroyed or missing. And every single call happened between 1 o'clock and 3 a.m. Some dispatchers reported hearing tapping sounds, breathing, another voice in the background. One dispatcher quit after hearing a caller say, "He doesn't like when you listened out on Ethan's last night." He recorded the call. At 1:14 a.m., the phone rang. Same number. Same location. He answered. The woman spoke immediately. "He says you can hear him now." Then a new sound came through the line. Not tapping. Not breathing. Footsteps. Crunching leaves. Right next to Ethan's headset. Then a male voice whispered, "Stop answering." The line went dead. Ethan quit the next morning. He moved out of state. Changed his number. But the calls didn't stop. Sometimes his phone rings at 1:12 a.m. No number. No voicemail. Just silence. And once, very faintly, a woman whispering, "My car won't start out if you ever break down on a rural American highway late at night. And your phone loses signal. And you see someone standing behind your car. Do not get out. Do not unlock the doors. And if Route 44 shows up on your GPS, turn around. Some roads don't let you leave." On October 17, 2014, at 2:11 a.m., a 911 dispatcher in West Virginia received a call that would later be labeled incomplete, unresolved. The caller ID showed no number. That alone was strange. The dispatcher, Linda Matthews, answered the call the same way she had answered thousands before. 911, what is your emergency? For several seconds there was only static. Then breathing. Not panicked breathing. Not injured breathing. Slow. Controlled. Almost calm. Then a man's voice came through. "I don't think I'm alone anymore." Linda asked for his location. The man paused. Route 44. Near the old mining road. Route 44 stretches through dense Appalachian forest, an area known for abandoned coal mines, dead zones for cell service, and long sections with no homes for miles. Linda asked what the emergency was. The man whispered, "Something keeps standing behind my car." According to the transcript later released through a Freedom of Information request, the caller said he had pulled over after hitting what he thought was a deer. But when he got out to check the damage, there was nothing there. No blood. No fur. No animal. Just the sound of movement in the trees. At first, he thought it was another animal. Then he noticed something disturbing. It only moves when I'm not looking at it. Linda asked him to get back in his car and lock the doors. He said he already had. Then he added something that made the dispatcher stop typing. It's tall. Too tall. And it's standing where my headlights don't reach. Dispatch tried to triangulate his location. They couldn't. Every attempt came back as error. Then Linda heard something new through the phone. A sound she would later describe as like a person trying to breathe without lungs. The man began to panic. It's closer now. Linda told him to honk his horn and flash his lights. He did. Nothing happened. Then he said something no dispatcher is trained to hear. It's smiling. But its mouth doesn't move. At 2:19 a.m., the man stopped speaking. Linda kept calling his name. All she could hear was wind. And then, footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Not on gravel. Not on pavement. But something wet. Then a voice came through the phone again. It sounded like the man. But it wasn't speaking normally. She's not supposed to hear this. Linda froze. Sir, who is this? The voice replied. He stood too long. Then the call ended. State police were dispatched to every possible access point near Route 44. They found the car at 4:47 a.m. It was still running. The driver's door was open. The headlights were on. There was no damage to the vehicle. No blood. No signs of a struggle. No footprints. Except for one thing. Behind the car, pressed into the damp dirt, were bare footprints. They were over 18 inches long. And they didn't lead away. They led toward the forest. And then simply stopped. The driver, Mark Reynolds, age 32, was never found. At first, police believed this was an isolated disappearance. They were wrong. Over the next 3 years, 5 more 911 calls came from the same stretch of Route 44. Different callers. Different vehicles. Same pattern. Each caller described a breakdown or sudden stop. A figure standing just outside the headlights. The feeling of being watched. And something that only moved when unseen. 3 calls ended abruptly. 2 included voices that did not match the caller. One dispatcher quit her job after hearing a call replayed during an internal review. She later told a reporter, "Whatever answers those phones out there, learns your voice." In 2021, an anonymous package was mailed to a true crime podcaster in Ohio. Inside was a flash drive. It contained one audio file, labeled Route 44_final call.wave. The recording begins with wind. Then a man whispering, "I stayed inside the light this time." There is a pause. Then a second voice. "Close. Clear. You always look eventually." The file ends with the sound of something scraping metal. The podcaster attempted to verify the audio. Before he could release it, his channel was taken down for policy violations. The file disappeared. He has never spoken about it publicly again. Local residents refused to stop on Route 44 after dark. Truckers reroute. Police avoid night patrols unless absolutely necessary. And occasionally, very rarely, a call still comes in. Static. Breathing. And a voice asking, "Is anyone else seeing this?" Officially, Route 44 has no known hazards. No serial killer. No wildlife threat. No explanation. But if you drive through West Virginia late at night and your car suddenly stalls, do not get out. Do not look beyond your headlights. And whatever you do, if you hear someone standing behind your car, asking you to turn around. Thanks for watching this video.